lyrics and the Dominican lingo, you understand? Because it was a calypso and people, Dominicans, could relate to that. You know? And in as much as we on lyrics, there's something that I need to say because a lot of people have been talking a lot about lyrical content and stuff like that. Lyrical content is very, very important. And I always say that music, or an artist, has one responsibility, and one responsibility only, to uplift someone else's life. All right? Now, I can understand probably you can have smut here and there, but you cannot make that the basis of your career. Or if you want to make it the basis of your career, find a way to bring it out. Like let the mind think. You know, let the mind think. Do it in such a way that it doesn't jump out at you and you know exactly what it's talking about. You know, be crafty with your lyrics. Really, really, I am worried because smutty lyrics will not last 100 years, whereas social commentary and storytelling and just the basic jump and wave will last forever. But I cannot see smut. I mean, and that is something that I will tell to every artist. I mean, you can have your smut and you can, you know, do things and say things and such, but you have a responsibility to your society, to where you live, to the people that you perform to. Let's not degrade women. Let's not degrade men. Let's not bring down somebody by... I mean, you want to say something about somebody, find a crafty way to say it, but you want to say a woman is beautiful, find a nice way to say it instead of going raw, or I want to kiss somebody, or I want to whatever. There are ways of doing it, but I don't think that we should be raw and try to defend it. I mean, I know I'm stepping on toes here right now, but that's not the responsibility of a musician. It is not. The responsibility of a musician or any artist is to uplift the people that they bring the product to, that they bring the song, the painting, the writing, is to uplift. You know, and I know a lot of people probably checking, is Magia talking, but that is what it is, or that is how I was brought up. And I think our society would be a much better place if we sang lyrics that were uplifting. You know, so this is my presentation. I hope that I shed some light on some things. I hope I didn't offend anyone. You know, oh, and something else I want to say. Cadence music. Some people have the impression that that Bouyon music is a spin of Cadence music. But although Cadence music eventually had an influence on Bouyon music, definitely. You know, if you listen to certain Bouyon songs, you'll hear the Cadence organ in there. You know, you will hear all kind of things in there. You know, but I just want to say that Bouyon music is 100%, came 100% from the traditional rhythms of Dominica. I knew that because I was the one who was listening to the jimping bands and the quadrille bands and everything, you know, and I was the one who was trying to play like them. So Bouyon, as I say, is the modernization of the traditional rhythms of Dominica. And through the development of Bouyon music, the Cadence had its great influence, definitely. And when I started to play with Exile One and Fitzroy, and you know, and really being roommates with Fitzroy and just talking to Fitzroy, sitting at the table with Fitzroy, you know, and even Freddie, and getting to play with people like Jerry, you know, even if Jerry has been playing for much longer than me, so he's somebody that I look up to, you know, and check his style and stuff like that. So many musicians, Jeff, so many people that I played with. And yes, Cadence music did have an influence and has had an influence on bouillon music. But it was not the influence that created bouillon music. Okay, so thank you again for your time. I hope you got something out of the presentation. And I'd just like to say thank you to Hadley Joseph from Drumhead Studios for making me use this space. I was looking all around, but we've been driving for the last 4 hours to head up to Maryland. So I just stopped over in North Carolina and got a studio. He asked if I could use the studio, so thanks to him for that. So do enjoy the rest of the evening, and thank you very much. Bye.
Yes, okay. Okay, right. Very interesting presentation by Cornell here, doing a bit of more dissection of the music. Now we're gonna move into Sober's S3's presentation, and we will wrap up with our friends Carlton and Ra. So Sober's is going to explore basically a sort of a forward movement in that sense, a framework for successful music sector. So over to you, Sobers.
Yes, thank you very much. And good night, everybody. Bonsoir. Yeah, so let me just hail the organizers of Cadence Calypso Month for what I believe is a successful month. So let's give it to them. Yeah. So for me, the challenge is how to move from, and Mikel and I were just talking about it, from talking about culture as in its pure intrinsic form, what we know culture to be, the way of life and all those things we talk about. And how do we move it from there to what we call now, in this new dispensation, to industrialize culture, to make it more living, to make it more meaningful, to give it value. That is a challenge that we have, folks. And so, for me, the last month has been a month of real serious reflection and conversations that I think was necessary. And I saw a posting somewhere saying that it was a history month. It's a month of history lessons. And I say to the people who say those things that as a society, sometimes we need to stop, we need to think, we need to reflect, and we need to have serious conversations so that we can address problems that confront us as a society. And so I am happy about what is happening now, and I know what will happen in the months and the years to come. So for me, it was indeed a month of learning some really important lessons, understanding or sharing shared experiences, but also what Gordon Henderson called a bittersweet moment as well. Some things were great, but some things were frustrating and challenging that we can reflect on. So from now on, for me, it is about moving forward together. We have to move forward together. So we need to stop romanticizing about what happened in the 70s and 80s. Great as they were, successful as they may have been, but of course challenging nonetheless. And I think for us, it is about recognizing, though, that many of the things that we saw during that period, because during the month, we reflected a lot of these challenges. So tonight we spoke about some of them. The lack of publishing, the copyright, even if we have legislation, but we still haven't moved very much in terms of copyright and publishing. We haven't moved very much in terms of the business of music, understanding the music ecosystem, and how do we develop and expand on that ecosystem. How do we train our people involved who are practitioners in the field to understand the myriad of things that we're talking about that they have to do? Where is the education? Where is the training programs? We talk about the challenges for investment. Culture is like any industry that requires investment, that requires support. At the micro level, at the state level, at the regional level, at the international level. Culture requires that level of investment so that it can be sustained and so that we can see greater success. So for us, the goal is for us to build an industry that can generate foreign exchange, create jobs, and sustain living, so that the people who benefit, who participate in the process can in fact earn a decent wage, earn a decent living. So the Raz and the Mikkels and all of the artists, all of the practitioners, they can benefit more meaningfully in this industry. So for us, I would say that we have a mission. We have a destiny. You know, the destiny of this thing is in our hands. It is for our generation. And I say our generation because God and them, they were a few years older than us, and I respected them, I looked up to them. But I think it is for this generation, my generation and the generation after me, to take this thing, to take the mantle and to run with it. Because God and them, they have laid the foundation. They have laid serious foundation for us and for those to come. It is now for us to take it and to move it forward so that we can see a new period of growth and success for Dominica's music regionally. From Dominique, it didn't translate into economic benefits for us as a country and for the people who participated in the process. And so that is for us the challenge in moving forward. That is for us our key mission going forward, to take the music and to build on what has been started by Gordon and the other pioneers of Cadence music. And as Cornell rightly pointed out, all the music are the same, folks. Stop this argument about whether it's bouillon, it's soca, it's zouk, and so all this music are relatively the same music. There are some slight variations, slight differences. So what we have to do is play our part and make it happen. And so I want to throw out a few things that I think are really key for us to help to build a framework for moving our music business into an industry. So I want to start first by talking about what we need to do at the micro level. That is to say, artist level, the enterprise level. Because we have artists who are not really organized into a business. So they're just artists, they're performers. And they're delivering, for the most part, a service. But we have artists and we have groups that are businesses, that are enterprises. So we have Michael Henderson Inc. That is an enterprise. It's registered, it has a logo, it has a name, it pays taxes, it contributes social security, and so on. And so that is the first level I want to deal with. So what are the things that we really need to focus on? Well, I think the first thing that we have to do is to look at the business side of it, the business ecosystem for music. There needs to be a whole re-education or education about how a music business operates. What are the key ingredients for that? So you have to register a name, folks. You have to have a logo, a sign, a brand, you know. You have to have managers or people to conduct the business on a day-to-day basis, because the artist cannot be the manager, the promoter, the publisher, the everything. Obviously, it will take different levels. The more successful you are, obviously, the better you are able to pay for